can't get a vaccination against rabies. Alright. It's been 5 minutes, so I can't talk with that.
I know you're slow. They need to slow down.
In March of 2009, Oprah Winfrey's 2 dogs, Sadie and Ivan, were infected with the parvovirus. Sadie was able to survive treatment, but Ivan passed away. Now, these sicknesses and death could have easily been prevented if Oprah Winfrey had had her puppies properly vaccinated when they were young. And just as Oprah's dogs should have been vaccinated, all domestic pets should be vaccinated for common life-threatening diseases. Vaccinations are used to protect the pet's health, but also to prevent health bills that can be incurred when animals become sick in the future, and to protect the owner's health also. Now, rabies, parvo, distemper, and feline leukemia are the most common diseases that are seen in domestic animals. Rabies is found in both cats and dogs and can be transmitted through saliva of an animal bite. Dogs and cats can receive rabies from just about any wild animals, but most commonly skunks, raccoons, and bats are the ones that carry rabies. This is a fatal disease. If your cat or dog is infected with it, there is no cure. It is a death sentence. The parvovirus is a very common one in young puppies, in young dogs and puppies. It is an airborne virus and can live in the soil for up to 2 years. So even if an animal comes into contact with your land and bleeds or dies, the virus will still live in the soil for 2 years. So all the dog has to do is go outside and he's got the virus. Now, parvo can be treated and dogs can survive the treatment just as Oprah's dog did, but the death rate is still 30 to 50% even in those dogs that are treated. Distemper is another common disease seen in dogs. Now, for distemper, the death rate is 75%. It's a much higher mortality rate than parvo. Some dogs do survive distemper, but those that do survive have permanent damage to their vision and nervous system, which greatly affects their quality of life. Feline leukemia is a big one that is seen in cats. Now, leukemia is passed through saliva, nasal secretions, urine, and feces. So any cat that goes outside and comes into contact with any domestic or feral cat is at risk of contracting feline leukemia. Feline leukemia is not a death sentence for cats, but it does greatly reduce their lifespan. They usually die within 1 to 3 years after being infected. Now, as you can see, some of these diseases are not fatal. Animals can receive treatment and survive, or some of them just have a reduced life. However, to treat them, it is very, very expensive. If a dog's infected with parvo, it costs between $75 to $300 a day to treat the dog. And treatment generally lasts from 2 to 7 days, so you're looking at anywhere from $1,000 on up to treat the dog. And this does not guarantee that he will survive either. Now, for rabies, there is no treatment. But if an animal is suspected of having rabies, they have to be quarantined for at least 10 days. And the owner must pay these boarding fees while the animal is quarantined. And feline leukemia is also not a death sentence, but it's very costly to keep the cat alive for the next couple of years while they're living. The Cornell Feline Health Center recommends that a feline leukemia positive cat return to the veterinarian every 6 months for a complete blood count, a serum biochemical analysis, and a urine analysis. Now, anyone who's been to a veterinarian for any type of reason knows that all these expenses add up very, very quickly. And also imagine if you have a very high dollar dog that you spend a couple $100 on, and it contracts one of these illnesses and dies from it. All that money you just spent on purchasing that high dollar dog has just been wasted. Not vaccinating your pet can also lead to health problems with the owners, as many of these things can be transmitted to humans. 4.7 million Americans are bitten by dogs every year, and of these, 16,000 to 39,000 are by a potentially rabid animal. Once a human is bit by a potentially rabid animal, the animal must be quarantined, and the person must automatically receive a series of post-exposure treatment to prevent rabies infection. Now, this treatment is to prevent infection, and every year, 1 to 2 people are actually become infected with the rabies and are killed. Feline leukemia is a disease that is not transmittable to humans from the cats, but because these cats have a repressed immune system, they very easily pick up other diseases that are transmittable to humans, and the human can then pets vaccinated. Nobody should end up like Oprah Winfrey with a dead dog that could have easily been prevented. It is important not only to protect the animal's health, but also to reduce veterinarian expenses that may be incurred when your animal does become sick, and also to protect your own health. Okay.
Hold that Chris. Hold that chair, man.